Good morning, evening, and afternoon, and welcome to part 80 of Aokana, no彼方のフォーリズム. So I don't know if you can hear or if there's any issues, but I just recently reinstalled my Windows, so settings, setup, everything is not the same, I'm sure. So firstly, if there is any issues, please let me know. Otherwise, everything should be the same, but I honestly doubt it. Yeah. It's hard for me to tell, so let's wait and see. So anyway, let's go with this episode. Last time we had just finished with the beach-ish thing where we had the situation with Asuka and Mashiro. And the whole message, I guess you could call it, was quite interesting. I quite liked it. Then we started off last time with a training session, normal training, but we were in the pairs, the normal pairs, like Asuka and Masaya and Mashiro and Misaki. So we had Misaki training Mashiro, but it was quite evident from the beginning that Misaki wasn't good at teaching. She is unable to properly explain how she does things or how she goes about it. So it became a problem for Mashiro to really learn from that. So we ended up with Masaya coming over, understanding the whole situation, learning from it, and this music is a bit too loud for me. Okay. And so we realized that Misaki is bad at teaching. Was it? But while they were conversing with one another, it was quite evident that Mashiro was giving Masaya the cold shoulder, or was looking at him with animosity. And I mean, she does do that, so it wasn't too out of the blue, I guess you could say. But we were then found out that there was a little bit of an interaction between the two earlier in the day. We were then given a flashback where Mashiro wanted to talk with Masaya outside the club room, and then she wanted to know she wanted to know what he thought of the message that she sent to him. That was that really subtle confession, I guess you could say. And the way he was talking and the way he was going about it was he had zero clue about that hidden meaning. And it ended up being a bit of an misunderstanding between the two, which she then realized at the end that what he was saying wasn't what he actually meant. I'm explaining it pretty poorly, but in the end she was upset with him for not knowing what she had said, and that ended up where they are now. So he thought, okay, well, I better just leave because I'm probably interrupting the two. That's probably why she's upset. So yeah, later on we found that he actually had made like a manual or book type of thing for Misaki, so that she'll be able to teach Mashiro better. Misaki had realized that he's put so much effort into this so that he can help, so this helps Mashiro, and she conveys that to Mashiro. Later on we see that after practice everyone had gone home, but we see that there was a little message and some sweets or something like that for Masaya, and that message had conveyed thank you, arigato. So we can tell that Mashiro has thanked him. It's a bit of a mishmash of a recap, but yeah. So we're going into this episode with Mashiro quite motivated to carrying on her practice. And it seems like Misaki is able to properly explain how to do it as well, which is great. So I'm not too sure how we're going to go about this into this episode. So yeah, let's wait and see. Oh yeah, she says goal already starting with this. Yeah.
目標タイムには届きましたか?
By the way, I hear Misaki's voice. I could probably tell she did, and Misaki's surprised by it.
美咲先輩おめでとう。ってうわっちょっとやった、やりましたよ美咲先輩。うん、そうだね、よく頑張ったと思う。
Yeah, she says, I think you did really well, or,
そうだね、よく頑張ったと思う。
I really think you did well. The more at the way she said at the end is emphasizing how she feels about it, how she really does think she did well.
もっと褒めてください美咲先輩。調子に乗るでない。ちょっと美咲先輩、飛行中のツッコミは吹っ飛んじゃいますって。
I think I heard the word squammy, which is like I think I'm saying it wrong. When there's a common thing with Japanese comedy is they have I can't remember how I say it properly, but it's not quite common to have duos. A person who gives strong opinions or strong words to their partner, and the partner retorts or says something back at the person. So from the way I can tell, what they're talking about here is she feels that what she's saying is going to push her back rather than pushing physically in a sense. But anyway.
でもわあ、こりゃ重症だ。とりあえずコーチにできたよって報告に行ってきたら。でもまだアスカ先輩のコーチ中ですし、邪魔しちゃうのも良くないかなって。いいじゃん、邪魔するだけの価値はある報告だよ、きっと。行くだけ行ってみて、話せそうなら話してみます。うん、行ってらっしゃい。
What she was saying that was quite interesting. Normally you say itarashai, itarashai. I think it's itarashai. It's been a while since I've heard said that word, but anyway.
喜んでるな。そりゃそっか。
Sorry?
喜んでるな。そりゃそっか。
She looks happy. Well, that's obvious, or that's to be expected.
こないだマサヤが口挟んできた時から1週間くらいか。頑張ってたもんね。いいな。
Yeah, she just says, isn't that nice? Ina is like, yeah, it's like, you can see it's envious with the way she's saying it, but it's not, she's not directly conveying it in a sense. But yeah.
先輩、喜んでくれるかな。コンコン、先輩。
Give it one more go, Asuka.
はい、コーチ。お、気迫すご。ちょっと待たせてもらおうっと。
Now the follow-up move.
私と同じ練習してる。アスカ先輩すごい。なんだか今更になってアスカ先輩の凄さがわかる気がするな。でも美咲先輩からお墨付きをいただいた私から見れば、これに関してだけはちょっと下半身が遊んじゃってますよなんて言ってみたりして。
The way she says it at the end. なんて言ってみたりして。How do I translate that? Yeah, I guess the beginning part here makes that comment about it. Anyway, I'm kind of worried here. The way they feel like they're building this part up is that she's on a high in a sense. She's quite happy and she really wants to hear Masaya's seal of approval. Really wants to hear him congratulate her or be happy about it. But what I'm worried about here is, like, let's say she did this certain course or certain movements, what she did just with Misaki, she got a certain time with it. I'm wondering if Asuka is going to do something similar or do roughly the same thing and get a time, and he's not going to be happy about it, or he feels like, okay, you can still do better. Or I just feel like there's something he's gonna say something and she's gonna be unhappy about it. That's how I feel like it's just building up to that. Great, now switch up to the variants. Assume your opponent's a speeder. Keep your basic form and remember, the subsequent maneuvers in the chain will be drastically easier or harder depending on how you pull off this first move. Or also I see here is that she's been doing basic maneuvers, basic teaching, and I guess you could say. And here she's seeing this quite advanced flying circuits. That's good. Asuka, come down now.
Coach, 今の出来はどうでしたか?
Well, you missed doing the feint with your eyes. Did you forget I told you that?
Oh.
That was it though.
完璧ですか?
Not quite. Then I'll be able to pinpoint the next thing for you to work on.
厳しい道のりですね.
We're making progress, but there's still plenty of things for you to learn. Hey Mashiro, need something? I look over and spot her close to us instead of practicing with Misaki.
いえ、何でもありません.
It has to be something. Why else would she interrupt us during practice?
実は、その、コーチに一応ご報告というか。
I feel like... So I think she was gonna say, oh, Chira. Chira is more like a glance. She glances at something or someone. What I'm wondering now is that perhaps she feels like her accomplishment is insignificant now.
私がどうかしました？あ、言っちゃいけない系のお話ですか？
Well, why are you leaving?
あとは若い二人に任せまして。
So the way she says it, like this first part, I feel like is right. I don't want to be a third wheel. The question mark is correct because it feels like the way she's saying it is almost like she's questioning herself. If she's saying, like, if I would say, in a sense, like, she's saying it to herself in a sense, like, does that make sense? And it's like, She's questioning herself. She's saying, I wonder if this makes sense. But she doesn't say that, of course, but yeah.
失礼しました。
She just says that. Oh wait, why are you leaving, Mashiro? I reflexively reach out and stop her before she can fly off.
ただの成果報告ですから、後でこっそりお伝えしますから。
Why does it need to be in private?
それは課題にしてたコンビネーションができるようになったんだよね、マシロ。美咲先輩、それを言うのは。なんで？だって報告に来たんじゃない。でもそれをアスカ先輩の前でおっしゃるのは何ともいたたまれない気分になりますから。
That's awesome, Mashiro.
マシロちゃん、すごいすごい。先輩たちならきっとそういう反応をしてくださるとは思いましたけど。
All three of us are happy for her achievement, but she doesn't seem too happy about it. Too happy herself. Odd. I keep assuming things, but that's what I like to do. Another thing I'm thinking of now is perhaps seeing. Nah, maybe this is a bit of a jump. Nah, never mind.
だってアスカ先輩は基本でなさってることじゃないですか。それを今さらできたとかっていうのはなんというか。
Yeah, I guess it is similar to what I was thinking. I was thinking of maybe she was starting to get like, not really, but almost like an inferiority complex where she felt like she wasn't getting as well as what Asuka was doing. She wasn't anywhere near her ability. So even though Masaya was saying that there's still more to improve for her, for then Mashiro to come along and say that she's done only the basics, it's like she feels like she's not there yet at all. Who compared you to Asuka?
Hi?
Has my coaching always been based on the principles of competition? I really don't want to think I've been stressing my players into believing they have to compete with each other.
比較的あるよね。
I mean, I can understand as well that's like you can't help but see yourself compared to your teammates in a sense. It's quite basic, especially if you're doing the same things in the same competition, same sport. Like let's say you're in a school and you do tennis while your teammates do soccer or football, I don't know wherever you want to pronounce it, whichever region. Anyway, so your teammate does well, but you're just getting the basic. There I can understand, you're not really comparing yourself 1-to-1, it's 1-to-2. But when you're doing the same thing, when you're both competing in tennis, it's quite easy to compare yourself to something like that.
そもそも FC は競争の要素も含んでますし。
Yeah.
ノーコメントです。
Yeah, she just says in English, obviously, no comments. Well, I'll have no comments. That's weird. I thought I was creating a more relaxed practice atmosphere, where you could each focus on your own individual strengths and weaknesses.
そんなゆとりとか放牧された牛みたいなこと言われましても。そんなゆとりとか放牧された牛みたいなこと言われましても。
It's hard for me to translate that, but I don't think it's the same thing here.
少なくとも私は練習の時いつもニック来たよ目早く沈めって願ってたけど。
Seriously? Well, moving on. If you put in the effort and master something you previously couldn't do, then I think that's worthy of praise, no matter the circumstances.
でも、アスカ先輩から見たら全然で。
Yeah, that's what I thought. How about an analogy? This may seem rather obvious, but just go along with it. Everyone other than you in the world is alive, right?
何ですか急に。
I think what she's saying is, what are you saying all of a sudden? Even though you may not be able to tell, we're all constantly battling ourselves as long as we live. Inner turmoils, inner demons, emotional conflict, etc. So in that sense, nobody truly knows what you're going through. You never truly know what others are going through on the inside. For some reason I feel like he's not saying that the same thing in Japanese, but...
はあ。
I think she's a bit confused. It's about the journey, not where you are at any given moment. Nobody wakes up one morning able to climb a mountain without practice. But if they put in the continuous effort, they'll eventually be able to reach the peak. At the start of the journey, you'll be jealous of those further along you. That's natural. The important thing is achieving the goals you set for yourself, and eventually reaching a point where you take pride in yourself and not have to worry about feeling jealous of others. So did that make any sense?
よくわかんないです。
I think she says, I don't quite understand. You take over from me, Asuka. All those embarrassing lines for nothing, disheartened, I hand the ball to Asuka.
ましろちゃん、アスカ先輩。ごまかしてますけど、本当は心の底から喜んでるんですよ。本当ですか？
I wasn't trying to sound crazy. It all made perfect sense to me.
マサヤさんはさっきからずっとましろちゃんの練習を気にしてたんですよ。
That's nice to see. Asuka, what are you?
さっきもですね、ましろちゃんたちが目標タイムに届いたって雰囲気で伝わってきたとき、小さくガッツポーズしてました。
Asuka, are you even listening to me?
マサヤさん、伊達にずっとコーチを受けてないです。指示のタイミングがずれたりするとわかります。極めつけは最後の練習です。
I did something there too?
あそこはコンビネーションではなくて、正しくは綺麗な姿勢を徹底するでした。
Did I really make that mistake?
考えてたことと途中で中身がすり替わっちゃってる。
ちゃんと私の練習を見てましたか？
I don't really know what to say.
コーチ。
I'm sorry. Yeah, he just apologizes. I'll admit I was curious about how things were going over there, but I had no idea it was impacting my focus. I'm sorry, I let you down.
大丈夫です。一日に1、2度あるかないかくらいでしたから、3、4度だったかもしれません。
I'm so sorry. But my head to hurt deeply.
私はもういいですから。ね。
Tough to translate, but anyway. I look in the direction she motions toward and see Mashiro. She's standing there pretty awkwardly, and I have no doubt I am too. What kind of face do I even make right now? What do you want me to say?
もうちょっとわかりやすく感想を言いましょう。
Okay. I thought she'd understand my previous explanation, but whatever. I'm glad you finally got the hang of it. I almost let myself speak in a grumpy, curt tone, but soon realized how disrespectful that would be. I'm not sure what she's looking for out of me, but Asuka said something she'll understand, so I'll go simple. Telling her my honest thoughts is kind of embarrassing, but I'll just have to deal with it. I'm proud of you, Mashiro.
よくわかんないです。
Yoku wakanai desu is more like I really do not understand, or I don't know what you're saying. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, yeah, he just says oi, which is like hey, or you heard me in a sense.
もう一度言ってくれたらわかるかもです。
What did I ever do to deserve this? This is pure torture.
先輩が褒めてくれた。
Hmm. Okay, well here she's just squealing with happiness. It's not like she's saying she's happy, but yeah.
ダメダメ、また埃が立つって怒られちゃう。
Sorry.
なんだ、嬉しかったのかよ、マシロ。正直泣きそうだったわよ。はは、あんな程度でか。安い女だな、お前は。
I wonder what she's doing with the chair.
うっさいな。
Ah.
あいつのこと好きなのか？お前、そこだけははっきりしないよな。なんかね、ちょっと怖いんだ。怖いだ？ちゃんと形にするのがもう後戻りできなくなりそうで。もう十分深みだと思うけどな。うっさいってば。また頑張ればきっと褒めてもらえるぞ。お前のことずっと見てくれるかもしれないぞ。いいの、私はそんな安い女じゃないの。例えば朝と夜にゲームをしてた時間を練習に使えば。やらない、やりません。そんなの褒めてもらいたくってやってるの見え見えじゃない。
I mean, from what I can tell, he does seem to be quite dense at times, so...
FC が上達すればお前の好きな美咲先輩とやらもお前を見直すんじゃないか。美咲先輩をどうやらって言うな。という言い訳でどうだ？
I like how it's going back and forth, moving around, doing things in the background. It's quite interesting.
言い訳って言うな。おいおい、ベッドの上でそんなに足をバタバタさせてるとまた。
ちょっと真っ白、さっきから一人で誰と喋ってるの？驚くにしても、せめてもうちょっと可愛い悲鳴をあげなさいな、年頃の娘。
That's quite a sweet little moment there.
だいたいさ、バカにしすぎだって。
So from the looks of it, I think she's going to school or coming from it. I'm guessing going to it.
先輩に褒められるくらいで私が自主練とか。
Oh, she's practicing on her own, okay.
褒められたのなんて全然嬉しくないんだから。部活の後に自主練なんて無理っていうか、部活を真面目にやってないみたいじゃないですか。
I wonder if she might not be overworking herself at this moment.
そもそも私そんな努力家タイプじゃないし、真面目なんかじゃないし、自主練なんてどうせすぐに飽きちゃうんだから。 単なる気まぐれ。こんなのゲームみたいなものだって。シザースからの救世主、はいヨーヨーからのあれ、次のコンビネーションどう動くんだっけ？
So what I'm expecting might happen is Masaya running into her during her practice like this, or with her saying this here, he might interrupt this moment and tell her what needs to be done. The only thing I have against these moments, with him being here, if he were to be here, is it feels like, why would he be here? It just feels like, unless he's at a certain place and she just naturally just went there without thinking about it, make more sense to me. Because I'm sure she obviously would want to practice out of sight. So why would he be in an area where she would be out of sight from, where she would rather be hidden in a sense? Obviously you can't hide in the sky, but I mean just that. Okay. That never happened. Good. Happy about that. I really didn't want him to be there, honestly. It just felt like it was pushing it, in a sense. So I'm glad it didn't.
ちょっと真白。もういいわよ。お客さんさばけたし。ありがとね。でも、お店の手伝いなんてしなくていいのよ。
Interesting, she's doing a lot more work, not just with Flying Circus, but with other things as well.
でもさっき見たら忙しそうだったし。
そりゃ、忙しい時は忙しいけどね。
なんかね、今何かやってないと張り詰めた糸がプツンって切れちゃいそうなの。私ってほら、そんなちゃんとした人間じゃないから。
それで毎日部活して、朝と夜にも自主練って出て行って、うちの手伝いまでするの？
Practicing by herself at mornings and nights has been happening for a while now then.
極端から極端というか、普段は手伝ってって言っても嫌そうな声上げたりするのに、うちの娘の不器用さ加減には涙が出そう。
娘のやる気に水を差さないでよ。
もちろん応援してるわよ。最後は倒れるわね。
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting might happen.
縁起でもないこと言うし。
嘘。真白、ちょっとこっち来なさい。
何よ。
抱き。
I heard Taki, which is hug, if I recall.
ちょっと、もう。でも、お母さんにこうやってもらうの、久しぶりだね。
それ、最近まで久しく頑張ってなかったってことじゃない？冗談。真白は美咲ちゃんとゲームを頑張ってたわよね。
発言に悪意を感じます。
お母さんは真白の頑張ってる姿が好きだし、もちろん応援もしてる。だけど頑張りすぎて無茶してないかちょっと心配。
お母さん、
甘やかすつもりはないけど、お母さんとお父さんは真白のことを見守ってるから忘れないでね。
ありがとう。大丈夫だよ。できることしかやれないから。
真白がそう言うなら信じるけど、でも あんまり無茶してると思ったら、真白がうちで働けないようにパートさんとか雇うから。
それはそれで家の中が息苦しくなるかもだからやめてほしいよな。
頑張るのはいいことだと思うけど、根を詰めすぎるのも絶対良くないからね。真白は不純って思うかもしれないけど、たまには自分を褒めたりご褒美を用意するとかしないと。
いや、その不純なご褒美のために頑張ってたりするんだけどね。
何
Letting her feelings slip a bit.
なんでもない、なんでもない。あ、ふと思ったんだけど。
何を？
お母さんとお父さんの馴れ初めってどんなだったの？って聞いてたんだ、お父さん。お母さんは止まってるし。
真白。
何急に力入れてこないでよ。苦しい。
正直に言いなさい。
何よ。
美咲ちゃん以外に好きな人できたでしょ。男の子で。
The second glass breaking.
なんで突然？
突然なのは真白。わけのわかんないタイミングでわけのわかんないこと聞いてきたじゃない。あ、もしかして朝と夜の練習もその人と。そもそも本当
And
に
another
練習
glass breaking soon.
ってあなたいい加減うるさい。
うるさいのはお母さんだから。
Interestingly enough, they're using urusai in the Japanese. So it's saying that the father is being urusai is noisy, like being loud and noisy. And here Mashiro's saying, the one who's being noisy is you, Mom. So yeah, it's not the same, because stop already is referring to the act of breaking the dishes. But then in Japanese, it's not referring to the breaking the dish. She's not worried about the dishes breaking. She just wants him to be quiet, which I find much more interesting, because that's how you can tell a person their character in a sense. And you can see that she's got it with how she does with her mom as well. Is it's not she doesn't want her to stop necessarily, but she wants her to be quiet as well. She's shouting.
私は一人で真面目に練習してます。それは動機は不純かもしんないけど。察しちゃったみたいな空気と変な勘繰りやめてよね。なんなら見に来ればいいでしょ。
じゃあそれはおいおい見学に行くとして。
本当に来るんだ。いいけどさ。
じゃあ可愛い娘のためにお母さんがお父さんとの馴れ初めを話してあげようかな。
And we'll find that out next time. I feel like this part's going to end soon anyway, but I might as well just end it here. I quite enjoyed this episode. It was nice to see more. Okay, that's what I've been noticing a lot of this route. Is we're seeing a lot of Mashiro's point of views and Mashiro's feelings and Mashiro's character developments. It's all Mashiro, which is right. But that's the problem I have, is I have no idea on how Masaya views this. We saw it a little bit with Asuka was saying it, how Asuka mentioned that Masaya was looking at Misaki and Mashiro practicing. And I thought it was nice because he obviously wants to see how she's doing, wants to make sure that everything's going well. So much so that it's actually impacting his own teaching from Asuka, which is interesting. So you see a little bit of development there, but it's not like it's not portraying how he views Mashiro directly in a sense. It's more in a sense where he's worried about them in the terms of their practice because it wasn't going well. He intervened and he wants to know how it's going. Sure. Seems alright. And the interactions between them as well hasn't been romantic. It hasn't been shown anything like that. Even his inner dialogues, or his inner talking, I guess you could say, it hasn't really pointed to that at all. Whereas we're getting so much from Mashiro's point of view, and it's really nice to see Mashiro's view, her change from this one character to this other character. This character development is great. I love it. I like the moments with her in her room as well, her talking to herself, and now this moments with her mother as well. Great, I love it. But as I mentioned multiple times before now as well, I'm just so worried about Masaya's character development. So much so that whenever I'm speaking as Masaya, I don't know how to talk, how to speak his lines, I guess you could say. That's also another problem I've noticed with this visual novel compared to like the 9 series, is I've come to understand and appreciate voice actors for the male characters. I just love Japanese voice acting. You can hear the emotion, you can hear how they portray their words or their feelings. You can see their feelings just in their voice. With Masaya as a character and without hearing the voice, so to me, the way I view it right now is bland. I don't see anything in it right now. That's why when it does come to when he does finally see Mashiro in that light, in that view, I'm gonna try and limit my expectations because I don't think it's gonna be handled well. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I really enjoyed this little section with Mashiro and her family. Great. I like seeing her practice more and doing more, put more effort into it as well. And as she had mentioned earlier as well, a bit of an impure reasoning behind it as well, which is great. I really enjoy that. Seeing her try her best for a reason. That's great. I'm really enjoying it. Not sure what we can expect next. Perhaps Masaya seeing her practice hard. But I did mention earlier with how she was practicing on her own, I didn't want Masaya to just randomly meet up with her or find her. But I think next time she does it, I want us to know about it. What I want to happen is we're following Masaya from practice or from school or from his home, whatever. I want us to follow him going somewhere, and then seeing in the corner of his eye, or him seeing or noticing Mashiro in the distance. And then it's, from his point of view, see how Mashiro is practicing. I think if we see how he comes about meeting Mashiro practicing, I think I would appreciate that a lot more than following her practice and then him appearing out of nowhere. I feel like I'd appreciate that much more. But I do feel like that's going to happen. One way or the other. We'll have to wait and see. There's other scenarios that could happen, like for example, she's overworking herself, she gets sick. Or injures herself. It could change up with that. Maybe he visits her and something develops from that as well. There's a lot of things that can happen, and that's great. I love to see that. So, wonder what's going to happen next. We'll have to wait and see. For now, that will be it for now. Again, please let me know how this episode went, because of all the settings possibly changed and various things. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought, and I'll see you all next time.